Yo, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why it's good to train solo in football. Now of course there's pros and cons to training both with people and individually, and so I'm not saying that solo training is just simply better. However, there are some things you would gain from solo training that you probably wouldn't gain when training with other people. And so the first thing you gain from training solo, which is pretty obvious, is inner confidence. Now, if you're anything like me who wasn't naturally confident, especially on the pitch, then you will know and resonate with me when I say that these solo training sessions are what builds our confidence. Knowing that we put the extra work in as an individual does really boost our confidence, especially going into competitive games. You almost go into your games knowing that you deserve to play well and have a good performance because you put the extra work in. It's almost like you have a big exam or test coming up and you haven't really studied properly, and so you know psychologically going into that exam that you're not going to probably do your best, or you probably don't deserve to do your best in the exam, and so it kind of lowers your overall confidence. Whereas if you study for the exam properly, then psychologically going into the exam you'll feel much more confident and almost deserving to do well in the exam. And so it's exactly the same when it comes to solo football training, especially because this is the work that nobody sees, and so only you will know how much work you put in and how hard you've worked in your training sessions, and that's what will build your inner confidence. Now moving on to the second reason what you can gain from training solo, and that's strict discipline. Now if you're someone that's pretty consistent with your training, maybe you train solo twice or 3 times a week, then you probably might not see it, but it actually takes a lot of discipline for you to have to get out of bed maybe in the morning or whenever, grab all your stuff, all your football gear, your training gear, travel to the pitch, get to the pitch, maybe it's cold or raining and the scenery is not the best for training, but you train anyway, you warm up and you get a good session out of it. All of that does take quite a lot of discipline, and there aren't really many people who are willing to do that. And so if you are someone who's training consistently, first of all, pat yourself on the shoulder, because it's not easy. You're doing something that a lot of people, even people who like football, aren't really doing. And secondly, keep being disciplined and training hard, because people might not notice discipline is a very important part of football, especially if you want to be a better player on the pitch. Also, if you are disciplined in one specific area of your life, in this case we're talking about football training, but if you are disciplined, then chances are it's going to leak into other areas of your life. And so this is just a very good life lesson in general, to just be more disciplined. Now the third and final thing you can gain from training individually is that the training session is 100% focused on you. Often when you train with someone else or in a group, the training session itself is pretty generalized, and so you don't really get to work on those specific drills that you want to do to improve. Whereas in a solo training session, it's 100% focused about you, so you get to work on those drills, those weaknesses you have, those things you want to improve on more. And really and truly, you should be making more mistakes in your solo training sessions, because you are going to be working on your weaknesses more, so there's going to be more mistakes and more errors in your training. And that's how it should be, because that's how you get the most growth and improvement from your individual training. So whether you want to learn a specific type of pass or a specific type of finish you want to do in a game, that's exactly what solo training sessions are for those specific things that you want to work on as an individual. And of course, you can use solo sessions just to have fun and do the drills that you love. That's still training in my eyes, and that's still improving. Just be careful to make sure not to train like that too often, and that you're training and working on the things that you need to improve, therefore you can get the most improvement out of the session. And so those are the 3 things you can gain from training as an individual. Now of course there probably are more things you can gain that we haven't talked about, but I feel like these 3 are the most important in terms of what you can gain from training solo. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to keep training hard and improving, and I'll see you next time.